Don't get it
that.
twisted. Don't get it. This hat means a lot, but this hat taught me a whole lot more. This whole poem that's behind me is I learned many of the nights after we sang Kumbaya, I had to recite this poem.
Yeah. So
but the poem it instilled things that, like, matter of fact, I printed it out. I don't know where I put it. All right, so the poem behind me is by Rudyard Kipling. It's called If.
Okay.
And as you can see, there's a footprint. Ironically, that belongs to my dog Kyrie Irving, who everybody got something to say, but he's so powerful. He controlled the whole NBA by not even playing. He did what he had to do. So shout out Kyrie. That's my dog for life. But he understands what this understand. He understands what that is.
Yeah.
He understands. He understands. Everybody understands. If you understand, you understand. If you don't understand, you don't understand. I don't have time to tell you because I got to get back to the buddy because I understand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But the one that really just reached out to me, man, when I first heard his poem, it was everything that was happening all those nights. You know what I'm saying? I cried out for them to just leave me alone. You know, I don't want to sing Kumbaya anymore, big brother. You know what I'm saying? They used to tell me, no, it's all good. Or when an employer would come down on you, or a football coach would come down on you, or your mama would come down on you, or anybody come down on you, and you be like, what did I do? Like, what did I do? It was this poem that helped me, you know what I'm saying, understand, you know what I'm saying, being a man, you know? Mm-hmm. And just a couple stanzas. I might read the whole thing, I ain't gonna lie. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same, if you can bear to hear your truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make traps for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. If you can make a heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word of your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone. Serve your turn long after they are gone. And so hold on when there's nothing else in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds, this is my favorite verse. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose your common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiven minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. Power. It blew me away, bro, when I first heard it, because we make a lot of excuses. Yeah. But then those are a lot of ifs to being a man. If you can do all those things, you could be a man. If you can't do all those things, then you have to you can't be the best man you can possibly be. Right. And nobody's perfect. I'm far from perfect. Mm-hmm. But Kyrie far from perfect. Rob far from perfect. Yeah. But if you make the conscious effort every day, every time to get better, then you're doing what you're supposed to do. You can't do no more. God has already ordained and already orchestrated how your life is going to go. He knew that we was going to take 10-year hiatus to do what you needed to do and do what I needed to do, so that when I needed you, you was perfected at your specialty. Right. And you had an originality with your specialty. And you've already impacted people's lifestyles with your specialty. Right. And everybody can't get an interview with Rob. I mean, when I saw that you interviewed Rain, I was like, oh, wait a second, let me see if I can ride this wave. Because Rain, my dog. I love Rain. That's my dog. And real talk, Rain, and I don't know if anybody knows about it, Rain, man. He been rapping since high school.
Yeah.
Shout out my dog, Lil Tim. Put him in the back seat of my Chevy Malibu with no hubcaps. And I was working at the radio station. He was like, yo, my man, Rain rap. He like, just hit something for him. I was like, all right, rap, you know. Do your thing, you know. This dude raps so much that all the windows is fogged up.
I believe it,
I don't remember anything he said.
Yeah.
Because at the time, I couldn't do nothing anyway. He was like, but say, man, that's what's up, dog. Like, do your thing, you know.
Was he nice back then, too? Because I know he's been rapping for a long time.
Man, listen. Everything. He put everything into being a rapper. He has sacrificed everything to get as far as he's gotten right now. To some, it would be like, wow, man, he ain't did this and he ain't did that and he ain't did this. Nah, man. A kid from Fayetteville, North Carolina that dropped out of high school has been in the studio with Dr. Dre, wrote for Dr. Dre, you know, wrote with Rick Ross, signed to MMG, just had Jim Jones in his video, rocking Fendi shirts.
Yeah.
I would say he's doing pretty well in life. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I like the fact that he's doing it his way, too. Like, he's not under anybody's thumb. And that's one thing I like about him. Yeah.
And guess what? He can walk in any room, in any studio, in the industry, because the industry is very small. I learned that real quick. He can walk in the room and somebody, and they're going to know who he is.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know. My shout out to my man Kid, who has the footage. Ronnie C has the footage. J. Cole, when he came to New York, he was coming from Fayetteville. He had to check in like anybody else. Like unless you want to be lost out here.
Yeah.
Ask him who got him in the Baseline Studios. Rain got Cole in the Baseline Studios.
Yeah.
Because Rain was real cool with like Corey Guns.
Yeah.
Corey Guns was cool with Young Money. And it was like, man, this is happening, boy. This is happening. Wasn't nobody worried about Cole, though. Everybody had their money on Rain. Nobody, you ain't gonna lie. And most importantly, everybody had their money on himself. We learned that later in the Ville mentality.
Yeah.
Like, everybody was cool with each other, but they really was running their own race.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm not saying you have to watch that. You just have to know that.
Yeah. So
like, there's no reason why he's not supposed to be the first signee on Dreamville unless he was a threat.
He kind of made that clear to me, reading between the lines of what he was telling me, right? So, like, he explained how the industry goes, and I kind of picked up on that. The way the industry is kind of like you said, the key word, if you a threat, certain people are going to try to keep you out of the doors that they feel like they should be in. But so going into that, music-wise, so let's talk about the music in Fayetteville and in North Carolina.
In North Carolina, you got to start with P.D. Pablo. You know, 2007, 2005, all that era. I was about to go back to D.C. I ain't gonna lie. I get a call like, yo, you need to check out this kid named Wale. At the time, he was signed to Studio 43, which is Kenny Burns' imprint. So I'm checking him out. I see he was, you know, rocking the flavor shoes, like, you know, the Dunks, the SBs, a lot of Supreme. He was doing it back then, LRG, stuff like that.
Wale shoe game was crazy back then, man.
Shoe game was crazy.
Yeah.
And the thing that struck me the most that he was able to link with Kenny, who was able to show him the industry. And, you know, you got to do your own research on Big Bro right there. But Kenny been doing it since 92 out of Atlanta, but coming by way of D.C., coming out of D.C. straight to Atlanta, and was able to cultivate relationships that he probably didn't know was going to be so valuable when he met Wale.
Yeah.
And when he put Wale on, Wale went straight to overseas and, you know, features with Lil Wayne, Nike boots. You know, like Wayne was on the remix for Nike boots. And his first big single was with Lady Gaga. You know what I'm saying? Who does that? Your first singles with Lady Gaga?
Yeah.
You played in every Foot Locker in America.
Looking at me. I remember that.
Yeah. And then after that, it was like Gucci Man.
Yeah.
Gucci, don't worry, you could be in prison. I'm still do the video.
Right.
You know? And shout out to Greg and those guys with the board of administration, and shout out Trey and all those guys, man, that really was there in the beginning with Wale, that showed that camaraderie. You're like, man, look, we're gonna ride with you and we're gonna take it there. We're gonna get you there. You ain't gotta pay us, we're gonna get there. And everybody has been able to get their own moves and own situations off of helping Wale get on.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people got businesses because they was able to help this bro get on. And when it came back around and he was able to, share some of this Atlantic Warner Brother money.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this guy on. I'm gonna put that guy on. I'm gonna let, think about it. He took Trey from UCB and you pretty much dismantled the whole go-go band.
Yeah.
Because you took their whole lead singer.
Right.
Because you can't take Miguel with you to sing Lotus Flower Bomb.
Right.
Trey, let's go. Trey has been, and I'm pretty sure because Trey is treasured the melody. He had his own mixtape at one time. Shout out Trey.
Yeah.
And sometimes he might like, man, I'm in the shadows of Wale. I'm just his background singer. He could feel that way.
Yeah.
But he's smart enough to know when I have these McQueens on and all these colors, when I be going to these places, if I didn't just sing those songs,
right,
and go about my business.
It's a bigger picture, man.
Was it that bad? Nah, it's not that bad.
Bro, I was nervous. I was nervous for Wale for a minute because I remember watching his come up. So I was still back home at the time, and I caught on because I like to be hip to the new music, and I loved Wale. But it seemed like back home it was a lot of and he'll say it too. It was a lot of hate. Like,
are you from DC or are you from Maryland?
Yeah,
hey, like, because he shouted out DC like, you don't live here.
I'm glad he made it out though. I'm glad he made it to where he's made it. I don't know if he realizes how big he actually is because he's an artist. That's just how artists are. That's how we are. You don't really notice how much of an impact you're making or how big you actually are. But I'm genuinely happy for that dude, man.
And guess what? He's a big part of the North Carolina scene of music blowing up. I'll tell you why. Attention Deficit Tour.
Yep.
Nike Boots was hot. I never forget, I got a call from my man's kid. He was like, yo, Cole is opening up for Wale at Cat's Cradle, and that's in Chapel Hill. So I was driving to Grand Marquis at the time. We all get in there. I find a driver because I used to love recruiting drivers because I like to sleep. So I think I recruited a driver, my little cousin or something, let her drive up there. And when we get there, David Banner's backstage, Ninth Wonder backstage, and they chit-chatting with each other. Chris is backstage from Young Guns. Mm-hmm. He backstage. And, everybody, doing their thing. And Cole run up on me like, bro, you missed my show. And I lied to you not. I was like, dang, my bad. But I must have said it like, I wasn't coming to see you.
That's how he carried it.
I did, probably did. I mean, it was the truth. Like, come on, cuz. Like, think about it. He ain't had no buzz at that time.
Cole wasn't cold at that time.
Cole was cold at that time. Trust and believe. I didn't realize it. When
you didn't realize Cole was cold.
His fans were there. Cat's Cradle was packed, and it did not all come to see Wale. I came to see Wale because I'm from home, and I was coming to rep DC. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on stage, Nike Boots. People try to pass this shoe up so he can slide it. I'm helping him. I'm helping the shoes get on stage.
Yeah.
And Knife and David Banner. Once again, this is like my third time seeing David Banner, so he recognized me. Oh yeah, you the nigga that almost fell asleep. Take me to the airport. Yeah. So they cool with me. So I'm backstage and it's cool. But I'll never forget that. And Cole always, that was like strike one, right?
Mm-hmm.
That might have been strike one. Maybe that was strike two. But I think it was strike one was when I didn't buy his CD at an A&T homecoming. Matter of fact, I told him to take a picture for me because he was like, I needed a picture taken, and you know me. Yeah. That's great. I don't got no change. I think I was another hustle. I used to go to A&T homecoming and sell gallons of liquor because the convenience of not having to leave the homecoming festivities and have to find the ABC store, stand in line. I was able to circumvent that by having everything that you need right here.
The ultimate hustler, man. That's why
Hey, yo.
I'm about to ask you in a
$100.
minute if you can remember all of your hustles, man. Can you remember all of your hustles, or is it just too many to really?
Nah, I remember all the hustles because I never stopped them. If it was a truly a hustle, why should it stop? I mean, if it may take a sabbatical, a
Right,
hiatus,
right,
but if it made money for you in the past, like we say in the landscaping industry, the grass is going to grow again in the spring.
right.
So it's your job to find ways to get paid during the dormant months. You raking leaves, drainage issues. We'll install some rocks, dig a path. Do you need the pine straw taken off your roof, ma'am? You want to shovel some snow?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be good with that homeowner all year so that when the grass starts growing again, I'm their first choice. And then I become their guy and they love me and I know their dog's name and their child's name and all this other great stuff. And eventually they don't even look for me anymore. But as long as they see this logo pull up to their yard, they know the type of work that they're going to receive because it's my logo.
Right.
And they know I ain't sending nobody out there that's not going to give you the same amount of hard work and dedication that I'm going to give you. I'm going to get on hands and knees. If I got to pull the weeds out from between the rocks with my own hands, do all I can do to beautify your yard. So, like, I don't forget any hustles, but I got to say cutting grass was my first hustle. Yeah. And I think it's going to take me into retirement. I'll never stop cutting grass. Yeah. No one knows really that I cut grass like that, but I don't care because they're not paying me to cut their grass.
Yeah.
But my first shout out to this lady named Charlotte that lived up the street from me. Swear to God, she hurt her foot and could not cut her grass because her grass, she had a riding lawnmower and she had to make it go with her foot. And she couldn't because she hurt her foot. Yeah. And she paid me $50. And I think it was like $25. She paid me $25 to cut her yard with her riding lawnmower. And
you realized that could make some money.
It was a service. It was once again a service.
Yeah.
And I also realized that she was very nice.
Right.
And not to take advantage of people's niceness. You take full advantage of people's niceness. Don't just do it a little bit. Do it all the way.
So, all right. So of all the hustles, I don't know if you can name one, but do you have a favorite? Like, is there one that you prefer over the rest?
Right now, I currently have the best hustle right now, supermattressshop.com, which I never believed that how many people actually have to go to sleep, Rob. It's crazy. Every day people have to go to sleep, but they need a mattress. And shout out to a part of my, little brother, actually. I've known him since he was 17 years old. He had a hustle. And I guess to answer your question, my best hustle ever was to become a consultant.
Okay.
All right. So Soul Fever, I wanted a sneaker store at first, and then it became this whole methodology way of doing it. So then I had to practice it on somebody. So I used to do these crazy missions and get in these crazy situations using my method of Soul Fever and disguise myself. I've been in the All-Star games, Super Bowls, concerts, everything that I wanted to go into. I didn't pay to go into, you know what I'm saying? Because I use this formula of service. And I said, well, hell, I need to start telling people because people would ask me and I was like, it takes a long time to listen to what you got going on and then give you my feedback. And then I got to go evaluate you, check you out, see how it's working, and then give you a plan of action on how it's going to go. When I was selling cars, I know I get into tangents, but when I was selling cars, there was a guy that used to ride around the parking lot and never bought a car. And I used to be like, man, what are you doing? How you always come through and never buy no car? Yeah. I do buy cars. I just buy Jeep Saharas because they have the best resale value. And I always trade them in before they get to 12,000 miles. I'm the owner's consultant. So I'm the owner of the whole lot. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, you're the consultant. Like, that's crazy. And he said, hey, I want you to read a book. And he gave me the book to read. I lie to you not, Rob. Like 2 months later, or it might even been a year later, I'm in a restaurant getting some food, and he walks in. Now, he doesn't recognize me. Rich old white guy, big Rolex. Sees I was just a guy on the car lot. You know what I'm saying? I stopped, and I talked to him. I remembered his name. I remember the book he told me to read, and I did read the back of the book, and I got the cliff notes real quick. I cheated a little bit. I got the gist of the story.
What's the name of the book?
No, I know what I did. I got the audio book. That's how I cheated. I got the audio book, so I wrote around and listened to it.
What's the name of the book?
He bought name of the book? The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell.
Okay.
All right, so I read the book, tell him about it, or listen to the book, and he buys my lunch, and we have a conversation about how he makes money.
Mm-hmm.
And I was astonished. Like, all he does is go to corporations and tell them what he used to help that corporation get millions of dollars.
Mm.
And if you use it too, you do everything I say, you can get millions of dollars too.
Smart.
And I'll give you one even better. Let's do a 3-month trial. If you don't like it after 3 months, we can revisit it. You pay me my money for the 3 months, but we can revisit it, and I might make your price go down, or you don't have to use my services at all. But he knows the information that he was going to give them was going to take them to the top. And then he would give them books to read as like a management staff, like from Good to Great. I forgot who wrote that, but the book is called From Good to Great. I remember everybody having to read From Good to Great. Mm-hmm. I didn't have to read it because I wasn't in management, but our relationship was this. I was a little peon at the car lot.
Right.
He was consulting the top dog.
Yeah.
I was never supposed to meet him.
Yeah.
He was riding through the parking lot to see how the salespeople were treating customers, so that when he talked to the top dog and say, hey, look, this is what you got over here. You got a guy over here that looked at me and didn't even come speak to me because it was 6:30. You guys closed 30 minutes ago. He's probably ready to go.
Yeah.
And when it's time to select a new manager or give somebody a raise, that word has already traveled to the top.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even know it. And I saw that the consultant was like a judge or a high priest in the kingdom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He knew what he knew, and I ain't gotta be the king. But let me tell you what I know, because it worked over here, and I was able to take my knowledge from Foot Locker, radio, selling BMWs for high gross, top dollar, that. And I was able to pour it into my partner, who at the time already displayed how he can make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
But said, I'm trying to get to millions of dollars. I said, oh, I got a deal for you. If I help you get to millions of dollars, you tell everybody that I got one to help you get to the millions of dollars. I saw my opportunity. The man that I met that consulted this other rich guy said that all he did was tell other rich guys who own companies how to get richer.
Genius.
And then he said, this is a crazy part, bro. He said he was learning new things every time. So, yeah, he was consulting a car lot.
Yeah.
But then when he went over to this guy that sells insurance, now the next person that comes up might want us to do a movie. Well, hell, if you've been in the business this long and you got this business to X amount of millions and you got this business to X amount of millions, I'll let you take a shot at me. Besides, you're the cheapest one I've found thus far, because true consultants cost that Fetty, my man.
Yeah. You
got to pay for their time.
Yeah.
And I was Kmaq. You could just take me to Applebee's, pay for my Applebee's, and I tell you everything you need to know. I listen to your song.
Quick. Yeah.
Yeah. So but back to music, man, like how it all fit. Cole was opening up for Wale.
Mm-hmm.
He was not big yet. But slowly, he started to rise and became astronomically bigger than Wale.
Right.
I wasn't there cheering him on from the bottom to the top. Matter of fact, I was like, yeah, I can't buy you a CD, but can you take this picture for me?
Yeah.
I wasn't. Matter of fact, I think when the warm up came out, I didn't be like, yo, Cole, I believe in you. Let's get these out in the streets. I was like, yo, so what's your budget? You got signed by Roc Nation. Ain't that owned by Jay-Z? You know.
But I couldn't tell, because I'm gonna tell you, before you erased all of your pictures and your stuff off of social media, you used to have a lot of pictures of Cole's the warm up, I think, was on there.
Yeah, it was out. We got the whole story, man. I've been there and I didn't know it, but I've been there since the beginning.
Yeah.
It's crazy. While I was all psyched about Wale, he was bubbling, trying to get attention from the people to play his songs and stuff. So he goes to New York and grinds and comes back with a deal from Jay-Z. It was like, I know you can play my song now.
Yeah.
And it still didn't get played. And it wasn't my fault. I was down here and and he was trying to get up here and I didn't know how to take down the evil machine of not playing local artists, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's what radio is. They're not going to play you until you're a hit. And when I used to fight for, because Lights Please was the first single that Jay-Z heard that got him signed.
Mm-hmm.
We had his album release, or that mixtape release party, the same night Michael Jackson died. That was during the summer. Lights Please didn't get on the radio till December.
Yeah.
Ironically, when DJ Hero was being given away courtesy of Roc Nation. Coincidence? I don't know. But when I tried to be like, yo, let's play it. What else? A nigga came from Fayetteville, got Jay-Z to sign up. What else you need to do?
What else do you want?
To get,
yeah.
What else do you want? And you know what was told? Yo, let the label push it, K. It was kind of like stay in your lane. Stay in your lane.
I was about to ask you that, because being on the inside, right? Me being on the outside looking in the radio, because I used to always wonder why, because I always had my ear kind of to the streets. I always heard about local artists that were dope as shit. Mm-hmm. But I always wondered how that radio game worked. Like, why aren't these guys getting played?
I mean, it was simple, man. It was the radio station plays the hits. Yeah. Here's the thing. The average radio listener, and shout out to my man Uzi D, because he followed it to the letter of the law. He's still in radio, and he's still one of the powers that be. And the only way you can stay in your position is if you know how to play your position. Don't let Ebro and all those cats, they're not full. Envy, all them cats, they can't play everything they want to play.
Yeah.
They can only play the hits. And here's why. Nielsen SoundScan and, these Arbitron, these ways that they rate stations and the way they count, Billboard House, how many times a song has been played and how somebody achieves a gold plaque versus a platinum plaque is about how many times that song is played, how many times that, how many times it's happening.
Yeah.
You can't do that playing anything you want. Here's why. It's Rob's radio. Matter of fact, it's Rob's car, all right? Mm-hmm. You love your car, right? You get in your car, you get to the red light. Do you want to be at the red light with somebody talking? No. Do you want to be at the red light with a song that ain't nobody heard? Or do you want to be at the red light with a song that everybody knows? The youngin' look beside you and be like, oh, man, dope car, playing dope rhymes. You want my number? I do want your number. And it's like it's like bait, you know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be cool. The radio station wants to be cool. And think about it, if it's too many commercials, if it's too much talking, or if you're playing the songs that I don't know the words to already, I am going to go to another station. Yeah. And I might not come back to your station. And then when I get my, the review, or somebody gets a survey and they ask the random person, hey, what's your number one station? They may say this station because they play all the hits.
Yeah, that's why that's the marketing thing. They be like, we play all the hits.
But here's the thing about that, though. It's kind of like this vaccine that's coming out, right?
Yeah.
if I play this song all the time, you're going to know the words to it.
Right.
And you're going to like it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I find myself singing Watermelon Sugar sometimes. Singing along with Justin Bieber, like, where'd it come from?
Programming, bro.
Bieber, get out of my head. But the songs have been played so much that I start to like them.
Yeah. I
can tell you if it's 10 o'clock. I can tell you if it's 7 o'clock. I can tell you if it's 12 o'clock based on the, I can tell you if it's 1 o'clock based on the song that's played because it's all programmed.
Yeah.
Now, these programs work both ways. Remember, this is all about dollars. Hip hop started in the park and was something to do because we like to do it.
Right.
Somebody saw an opportunity to make money off of it. And as my man Dane talk about the culture vultures, they lock in. They start the publishing companies that they start the BMIs, they start the ASCAPs and all these things, Cadillac Records and all that. And they get our music. And we just so happy that it's on the radio.
Yeah.
And they made the radio such a god. Like if it didn't make it on the radio, I ain't make it. Vice versa. If I was on the radio, y'all niggas thought I made it. And I had the Malibu with no hubcaps.
Yeah.
I didn't have to pay to get in the club. So of course I'm in the VIP, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm at the radio station. I'm working with the radio station.
Yeah.
You know, they let me in all the clubs. I'm working radio station. Oh, hey, let him in. He's working with the radio station. It meant nothing to me, but it meant everything to somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the crazy mindset that we've been indoctrinated into, though.
But it changed. It changed, though, Rob. It changed. It changed for the better.
Okay.
When it was AM radio, it got taken out by FM because FM was like, yo, don't you want to hear these songs in stereo?
Yeah.
Both ears? No static? Come to the FM side.
Yeah.
Then all of the cars now are equipped with what's called XM radio, satellite radio. No commercials.
Yeah.
And I had somebody tell me, and I'm glad, shout out my man Maurice Starr, shout out Lamont Swing. When I came into the radio game, they told me, make sure you got some money coming in outside of this. Because this right here is not going to be what you're seeing for long.
Right.
Gilbert Bays, who does news now, told me, hey, man, I used to be master the super mix. I used to be able to tell people, hey, I'm going to be at the corner of such and such in an hour. Meet me there if you want your bumper sticker and a chance to win $100 and get some CDs from me. And guess what? Everybody would be there. You say that shit now, they be like, I think I already downloaded it on Apple Music. Like,
and I don't want a bumper sticker.
I don't want a bumper sticker on my car. You know, for $100, like that's not enough money to some people. Like, everything was changing, and here were the OGs. Once again, it was like everywhere I went, just like when I was teaching, there was people that loved to teach and people that was like, woe is me. In radio, there was people like my man Uzi D, who was on fire for it. He would be making commercials all night, thinking of ways to make the station sound better. You know, you're a hip hop station, but he would wear a suit every week because he wanted to be taken serious in the business of music. He to matter of fact, that was a book he made me read, This Business of Music. He's like, you understand what this is all about. Get this book.
Yeah. And
get back at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's rules to this game. And we don't even have enough time to discuss all of it. And I don't know if it's even my job to tell you all these people out here for free. I'm a consultant. I'm going to charge that ass to get you a meeting with this program director so he can listen to your music. Right. This ain't a game. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not a game. Like, bruh, time. I mean, I'll give you one tidbit. DJs love chicken. I'll tell anybody that. You bring some chicken, you might get your song played or listened to. Yeah. But food and beverage and service will get you in any door. I keep saying that over and over. That's really what it's all about. Just be able to do something that other people aren't willing to do. Be of service. Be a cheerful person by being of service. Don't be the grumpy guy like, man, I should be doing more with my life. Yeah. No, carry those crates for this young DJ. Yeah, he's DJ Envy and you never heard of him, but he's under Clue and he's learning the game. And if you stay with him long enough, you're gonna be his driver because he's a millionaire on the Breakfast Club 10 years later.
When I was talking about like-minded people, right? People
Right.
with common goals and things like that. And you mentioned before about Empire Radio Magazine. So that was the premise of it all. It was basically service, because we realized that there was a lot of people that deserved flowers that weren't getting them. So that was really what it was built off of. It was like, we see J. Cole before J. Cole is Pop or somebody like that. Why not put that person in the spotlight? Because we understand how these other magazines, you know, the bigger magazines or media companies move. It's all dictated by the people that feel like you haven't made it till you made it already.
Mm-hmm.
So like
or they saw you make it.
Yeah, so we saw you make it. Like you said, the radio station ain't gonna play you till you pop. And I don't really believe in that mentality, because talent is talent. Whether 1 million people know you talented or 5 people know you talented, talent is talent. So we were really trying to build off of that premise. Like, yo, this person is talented as hell. Like, put them on the cover of a magazine. Why not? And that worked in our favor a lot because, bro, we had people on the cover and we developed relationships with people because gave them their flowers before they even popped, like French Montana and people like that, you know?
They never French is not gonna forget these things. And when people coming up, it might be a blur when it's like I'm on and popping, but you never forget those moments when you coming up. Like Cole never forgot that I didn't buy a CD because he let me know when he had 5,000 warm-ups. Like, yeah, remember you didn't buy that CD?
Yeah.
To come up, I got 5,000. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, great. But when I think back on it, he had used it as a motivational tool.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't want to hear me? I'm going to go get a deal with Jay-Z. Now you got to hear me.
Yep.
So I couldn't do nothing but smile. And that's why there are more pictures of myself with Cole, because over the years, all the way up to like last year or the year before with the Dreamville Fest, it was a little bit of respect, a mutual respect. Like, bro, I never kissed y'all ass and was dick riding y'all to try to get on Dreamville. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That wasn't my thing to do. But don't feel bad because I didn't do it with good music. I didn't do it with Grand Hustle. I didn't do it with Rough Riders. I didn't do it with Rockefeller. I ain't do it with nobody. I would, hey, y'all would come in trying to get your songs played, and I had to play my position. You know what I'm saying? I knew that it was a position of power. I knew that it was a punishable crime of 5 to 7 years if you were to take money, because it's called payola to play certain songs. So I didn't dabble in that. I did what I did best. No, I don't spin records, but I can get you a DJ price to fit your budget. Oh, you need a DJ for a birthday party? Got you. Oh, you want it for Al? Got you. Oh, it was gonna be a big concert. Don't worry, I have you. Oh, you need all clean music? I have you. And I used to go around to all the DJs that wasn't getting the top dollar, and I would sell them for them. Like, let me sell your services. Let me size them and say that, oh, this person did this, that, and the other, and you get you on. Also, I was connected with CIAA, and I leveraged those relationships with working with that tournament for so many years, of it being in North Carolina, in Charlotte, and being a hub for young Black, progressive men and women to come through and have a party.
Right.
So if the artists are coming through, I use the same knowledge of radio and doing shows when I would go into any type of environment. And the main thing was staying up late or getting up early, however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
But your sweet spot hours were 4 o'clock in the morning. 4, 5, 6. These are the hours where you, the club goer, you're going to sleep.
Right.
You're going to bed. You try to go get some youngins or whatever. Well, you done for the night. Man, this is where these guys turn up because they superstars. So somebody like Gotti, he riding in the back of whatever, flying to this spot, to that spot, sitting in a hotel, chilling, conducting his business. He not really moving until 10 o'clock at night. He gonna be able to go till 4 or 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So and everybody got to come through the lobby.
True.
No matter what, I ain't been in one hotel where somebody could come in any other way other than the lobby.
Yeah.
So I was not being weird about it, But if I really wanted to meet somebody, I would hang out in the lobby.
Yeah.
Find out who is connected to them, make them comfortable with me, but not, they wouldn't get too comfortable, and let them know that, bro, if now is not the right time to holler at so-and-so, it's cool. As long as you and I know who each other are.
Yeah.
I remember one time Allen Iverson and a couple other people, they was in the lobby playing Tonk or Spades or whatever they playing. They were playing cards.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to walk up and be like, yo, Allen Iverson,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I didn't. I knew it was like, yo, if I do that, I'm going to immediately be put in a category of a fan.
Right.
So I did it. I hollered at my man Ruggs, who at the time was the only person down in Atlanta really talking about Duce. And I was, trying to get that whole ambassador thing kicked off. But North Carolina's liquor laws are so crazy that no company really wanted to touch it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really want to deal with that. Yeah. All the regulations that the ABC Commission put. So I wasn't able to do what he could do in Atlanta with the bottles and the branding of alcohol. Mm-hmm. But I knew who he was. So I pulled him to the side and just told him, like, yo, man, anything y'all need while y'all here in Charlotte, got you, man. He's like, all right, word? Yeah, for real. And they didn't need my help. They didn't call or anything. You know what I'm saying?
But you offered services. You became the plug.
Yeah, I did it. Hey, I put it out there. But look what Ruggs has become now. He got Copper Cove in Atlanta, got his own lounge. You know what I'm saying? He hosting parties all over the nation. Mm-hmm. He cool with Fab. Fab be coming through his restaurant. So, I didn't get to chop it up with Allen Iverson that day. But the people that Allen kept around him were forward-minded and progressive people too. So it was meant for me to meet Ruggs that day.
Yeah.
It was meant for me to say, give him his flowers and be like, yo, bro, I see what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing.